So maybe I'll put this lick in a song you may know or may want to know, Salt Creek. Let's play it really slow, and maybe I'll put a couple versions of the lick in. So for those of you who this would be helpful for, I'll walk you through the lick slowly. I'll break it down. I'll tell you what I was thinking in case that helps. And there's probably 10 more lessons inside this lick that we could expand upon, but I don't want to make this too long. So I added this, what I think of as an enclosure to start the lick off. So remember, the original Martino lick started here, and we moved it down to the relative minor of G. So G is here, and the relative minor is E minor. Right? And so the lick did start here, but I think that's a bit too outside sounding for a G major bluegrass context. It can work. You might be able to make it work, but I thought it might be a little easier, especially to start off with, if we anchored this lick on G, the root tone of the chord in the key. So I did this little enclosure type thing, and I think of it as an enclosure because in jazz, this would be an enclosure, and we would target the G here. But I think this is a bit too dissonant for bluegrass, so if I did, that doesn't quite sound as right as... So it's the same basic idea, but modified to fit a bluegrass context. So after this little enclosure type thing, we walk down, and now we're right at the beginning of the original lick, move down into the relative minor of G. So now here comes the Tony Rice lick. Now I believe that could be, I don't know if I got that version directly from Tony. I might have stole it from somebody else, or it may have been an evolution of an idea I originally got from Tony that I just kind of accidentally made up. So this was the original lick. I'm pretty confident I got directly from Tony. And I modified it or stole this from him even, or someone else. Okay, and so now we're adding that into the lick. So then we have this next lick. And I don't know who I got that from. Everybody does that. It's become a bluegrass cliche now, which is not a bad thing. You want to include cliches in your playing. helps people to identify the style, but you don't want your playing to be comprised of all cliches. All right, so after this, and then I might have done this. Again, that's a modification of the Lester flat run. There's many versions of that, but this is kind of a shortened version. And you'll hear that all the time. So I kind of put those at the end of this Martino lick, and it kind of brings it back into the bluegrass genre. So taking the lick from the top again, we'll start at the G here, walk down, insert our first bluegrass Tony Rice style lick,